Welcome back to another jaw-dropping episode of Salon Scandals. This time, we're diving into a tale so thrilling it could only happen in Vegas. Our salon is no stranger to drama, but when Kelley and her mysterious New York entourage walked through the door, things took a turn straight out of a gangster flick. In this episode, you'll get an insider's scoop on the day a routine mani-pedi spiraled into chaos. With mobsters, mistaken identities, and a love triangle worthy of a soap opera. Picture this: a salon full of unsuspecting clients, a gun-toting ex, and a showdown that left everyone breathless. Join us as we unravel the secrets behind the polished nails and clenched fists, and discover how one woman's tangled web of lies brought the mob to our doorstep. Kelley was a regular, the kind of client who tipped well and kept things lively. She'd breeze in every few weeks for a full pampering, mani-pedi, highlights, the works. She had a husky laugh and a sly smile that hinted at a life full of stories she rarely shared. Her hairdresser, Johnny, adored her, always fussing over her highlights like she was some Vegas queen. Me, I stuck to her nails and feet, painting them in bold reds and deep purples. That matched her fiery vibe. She was a mystery, sure, but I liked her well enough. Until that day. It started innocently enough. Kelley had booked a full day of services. Not just for herself, but for a group of men flying in from New York for a wedding. Big shots, she'd said with a wink when she made the appointment. You'll see. I didn't think much of it. Vegas gets all types, especially for weddings. Until they walked in. These weren't your average groomsmen. They were broad-shouldered, sharp-eyed. The kind of guys who carried an energy of, "Don't mess with me," without saying a word. I'd heard enough whispers in this town to know trouble when I saw it. Kelley kicked things off with her usual mani-pedi combo. I'd just finished her nails, a glossy crimson that popped against her skin, when she slid over to Johnny's chair for her highlights. That's when I started on the Big Boss, a guy I'll call Slick. His real nickname, too risky to repeat. He was maybe 50, with slicked back hair and a jawline that could cut glass. His hands were surprisingly well kept for a man who radiated power. But I kept my head down and focused on the job. No small talk, just the soft scrape of my file against his nails. Kelley, meanwhile, stepped outside for a cigarette. She leaned against the salon's front window, right behind Vanessa's nail station inside. Vanessa was mid-pedicure, chatting with her client, when a bang, a loud thud rattled the glass. She yelped, nearly dropping her foot bath, and we all turned to look. There was Kelley, pressed against the window, a man's hand clamped around her throat. A gun pressed to her temple. My stomach dropped. The guy, let's call him Freddie, was furious, his face twisted in a snarl. He jumped out of a taxi that screeched to a halt curbside, bolting straight for her. Vanessa's gasp echoed through the salon, and I froze, my file hovering over Slick's pinky. Kelley's eyes were wide, her cigarette dangling forgotten from her fingers. Freddie was yelling something, muffled by the glass, but the gun said plenty. Turns out, Freddie was Kelley's boyfriend from New York. He'd tracked her to Vegas after finding out she was cheating with some guy named Kenny. What he didn't know, or maybe didn't care about, was that Kenny wasn't the only one in the picture. Inside, the New York crew was getting pampered, oblivious until Vanessa's gasp caught the attention of one of the younger guys in the group. He whipped out his phone, barking, "Kenny just showed up, get here now." Before I could process it, two black Cadillacs roared up outside. Doors flew open, and a half-dozen men spilled out, all muscle and menace. They stormed toward Freddie and Kelley, grabbing a terrified-looking guy. Kenny, I assumed, from the chaos. Freddie let go of Kelley, who stumbled back, pale as a ghost, and the group dragged Kenny inside. The salon went dead silent. Hair dryers clicked off, clients clutched their purses. Even Johnny the stylist stopped mid-foil, his hands trembling. They marched Kenny straight to my station, where Slick sat calmly, like he'd been expecting this. Freddie had Kenny by one arm and his neck, another guy gripping his other side, twisting his shirt in a fist. Kenny looked like he might wet himself, his eyes darting between the men holding him and Slick's icy stare. I kept my head down, pretending Slick's cuticles were the most fascinating thing I'd ever seen. My heart was hammering so loud I was sure they could hear it. Slick looked up, slow and deliberate, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade. "You leave the dog to its owner," he said, his tone low but lethal. Kenny stammered, shaking. "I understand, Slick. I'm a dog. I'm sorry." Slick cut him off, his voice rising to a roar. "I said leave the dog to its owner." He pointed his finger to Kelley, who was sobbing on the other side of the salon, Johnny hovering over her like a nervous hen. Then he pointed at Freddie. "She's the dog, he's the owner." The room held its breath. Kenny nodded frantically, muttering apologies, promising he'd never go near Kelley again. Slick didn't blink, just stared him down until Freddie and the other guy hauled Kenny out and pushed him into one of the Cadillacs. The cars peeled off, and just like that, it was over. The salon exhaled collectively, though the air still crackled with unease. Kelley stayed quiet after that, letting Johnny finish her highlights while she wiped her eyes. Slick paid for the group's services with a stack of crisp hundreds, tipping me more than I'd made all week. As they filed out, the younger guy, the one who'd made the call, grinned at me. "Hey, you should come to the wedding tomorrow. Gonna be a blast." I forced a smile, mumbling some excuse about a prior commitment. No way was I getting tangled up with that crowd. They left, and the salon buzzed back to life, though the whispers lingered for weeks. Here's the kicker: Kelley and Freddie, both married to other people. She was hitched to a famous guitarist, some big name in the Vegas scene. Freddie's wife was a jazz singer, supposedly a star back in New York. Neither of them ever let on, playing their parts like pros. It was almost funny, two mobbed-up cheaters fighting over each other, while their real spouses were none the wiser. Kelley kept coming in after that, but she never mentioned the incident. I didn't ask. Life went on. Nails, highlights, the usual until a few years later, when she disappeared. Word got around she'd landed in prison, something about a murder plot in Vegas. I wasn't surprised, not really. She did 3 years, and when she got out, she showed up at my station again. She'd put on a few pounds, not much, but enough to notice. Before I could say anything, she laughed it off. "Yeah, I've been hitting this country club 3 times a week. Best macaroni in town." Of course I didn't buy it. Prison macaroni doesn't come with a side of country club. And I knew she knew I wasn't that naive. But I played along, smiling and nodding like it was just another day. "Good to see you back," I said, and left it at that. She didn't test me further, and I didn't push. Whatever she'd been through, whatever she'd done, it wasn't my place to dig. She stopped coming into the salon eventually. I don't know where she is now, still in Vegas, maybe. Or back in New York stirring up trouble. Slick and his crew never returned either, thank God. But that day, it's burned into my memory, a wild mix of polish, pistols, and power plays. In a salon where secrets are currency, this one took the cake. A Mob Manicure Mayhem I'll never forget.